also comes with, it's like a gauze piece, and I only can think is if they had a wound, you would put this on there to keep it from sticking. I rarely used those, but they do come with that. So the 4 parts are cotton, and then you have the one that doesn't give, okay? This is your second layer. Your third layer is kind of like an ace wrap that will compress. And then your final layer is going to be the co-band, which is going to hold it in place, okay? Sometimes if the patient had a hard time keeping it on, some of them come with, like there's a co-band 2, which I'll tell you about in a minute, comes with like this like nylon, which you can put over the top of it, because sometimes that co-band gets kind of sticky, and it does really get sticky with the co-band 2, and it would catch their sheets, and so the sheets would, when they go to pull it or whatever, it would kind of pull it off, and it would mess it up. So I would keep a handful of these so that I could just stick these on there to hold it in place. All right, so with this, which is much like many of the short stretch bandagings that I would do, you have to put a layer on the skin. This evens out the compression, and it protects the skin from the layers above. Also, if somebody had, let's say, a really, really swollen foot, and then they had like an indentation here at the ankle, and then they had a lot of swelling in their leg, I would put a lot of padding in that because I want to make it more of a cylinder, okay? On YouTube, you can Google lymphedema compression bandaging, and you'll see the short stretch bandages, and you'll see the padding. Sometimes I would look through those and I would see good and bad things. Like if you're wrapping the hand, you want to make sure you don't let them stick their pinky up. You want to keep their pinky down, or it causes a lot of pain in the hand. There's also that manual lymphatic drainage on YouTube. Some of that is good, some of it is not good, and I will show y'all some of that later. All right, so there's your padding, and then you want to go with your not so stretchy layer, number 2, and you want to have some tape handy when you do this for this layer and the next one. I'm just going to fold it under, but see, I'm not pulling it tight. I'm just trying to compress my padding. I'm going up at an angle. Feel that? And it's just snug. And you can emphasize areas where you need to put more more pressure. You can put more layers, not tighter, more layers, okay? Y'all good? All right, so then this is our stretchy layer. The yellow is on there to kind of give you a guidance so that you can double up like half. Does that make sense? So when I get up here to the leg, what I will do is I will go up, and then I could go right there at my yellow line, and then right there at my yellow line. And that helps me to make sure that I have it overlapped halfway. But again, I don't pull it very tight. All right, and then the top layer would be co-band, just to kind of keep it in place. And you always want to wrap all as low as you can to the toes, and you want to keep an eye on their toes, because if they're having swelling there, then you're going to have to wrap these 3 toes. You don't ever worry about the tiny 2. And there's very specific, what looks like gauze, but it's that short stretch gauze. And again, if you look at the YouTube videos of lymphatic bandaging, you'll see that product. Stuff is hard to reuse. How's that feel?
Feels good.
Which one feels, like describe how they feel to you.
This one probably feels like it has more pressure on it, and it feels colder and a little bit tighter, like around my feet and stuff. And then this one feels comfortable. It's just thicker. I feel like I can't move as well in it.
Okay. And so you have to kind of get that feedback when you're trying to determine which one is best for each patient. The Coban 2 that I was telling you about, this is the bottom layer. It has a little padding, little sponge to it. So that would go directly towards their leg. And then there would be a top layer of Coban that has a tiny little bit of stretch, but it's not as stretchy as what you would think, well, like when you get blood, you know, they put that on there. This is made by 3M. And funny story about that is, and I really like that system because it's only 2 layers, it's not messy, it comes with that little black nylon to cover it up. It's comfortable for the patient, it's easy for me to put on, and again, it can stay on for 10 days. And so I like it better than I like the Pro 4. I'm on Facebook one night and I'm just scrolling through, and all of a sudden this ad comes up for this particular item, this Coban 2 compression system. Would you like a free sample? Why, yes I do. So, like free stuff. So it's like 9 o'clock at night and I put in my information. The next morning at 10 o'clock, this guy shows up at my clinic, and this is when I was in Summerall. He, in the middle of nowhere, this guy shows up and he said, I'm so-and-so from 3M and I was told to come and visit with you today. Really? Apparently, when I put in for that free sample, it went directly to corporate, and they thought, ding, 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 we have a customer. So they called this guy who was the local rep and told him to get his butt to Summerall to come meet with me because Hattiesburg Clinic is going to start ordering our stuff. So he brought me all kinds of samples. He gave me a book with information. I mean, and I've used the product ever since. I mean, it was a good move on their part. And this one, if somebody's got an ABI, do you know what I'm talking about? The arterial brachial index, okay, which is an indication of having issues with circulation. They have a Coban 2 Light, which is better for individuals who do not have an appropriate ABI. Okay, so that's good to know. So, you know, as I'm putting these items on patients and they've had experiences with it, sometimes patients will come and tell me, I want this, or I want that, or I want the one you did last time, or I didn't like the one you did last time, it didn't work as well. And so when you think about these various items, it's good to do research on which one is best for the individuals. And so one patient I had a poor ABI, poor venous, you know, he had insufficiency, lymphatic issues, he had a lot of swelling, he had some wounds. And in my discussion with the patient, he was like, I will not accept anything but an Uniboot. You can put an Uniboot on me and I will be fine. And I can control how tight I put it on. And so that's what I put on him. And then the next day, his doctor called me and said, don't ever put that on there because you're cutting off his circulation. And I'm like, I don't want to tell you that you're uninformed, but you are. But literally, the Uniboot, according to research, provides the least amount of pressure as compared to all these others. Okay? So I felt like I was doing the right thing, and I'm like, you don't want it, fine. You know, you do you, boo. That's what I wanted to say. That. Yeah, you do you. But anyway, if he didn't do compression, he was never going to heal, because when you have swelling, you have the skin moved further away from its arterial flow, which is where the good stuff is that helps you heal. And until you get the swelling down, you cannot get that good stuff to the wound area to help it heal. It doesn't matter what you put on the outside on that wound. As long as you have swelling, you're going to continue to have a wound. You have to get the swelling down. That's why these things are so important. Same thing with compression. You cannot put somebody in a compression garment until you get the swelling down. Cool? Any questions?